Look who's arrived at the airport.
You can't hide under that tartan hat. Look who I found looking quite incognito at the airport. You'd never notice him, would you?
Hello, this is John Smith.
Well, I think we better board the plane.
Yeah, we better hurry up then, okay? Here we go. Egypt, here we come. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm excited. This is better than Christmas.
We're off on a 10-day tour of Egypt, starting with the pyramids. We arrived in the dark, so I'm amazed to wake up to this view. I can't believe we're here.
I know, it's just a dream.
I feel as though we've stepped back in time.
A lot of people don't know this, but it was actually the Egyptians that invented chocolate. They called them Ferrero Rocher. And afterwards they decided, let's make a Toblerone.
Thank goodness I'm with you, Gerald. Otherwise I wouldn't know the history.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't know the real history.
No, that is
of the Egyptian capital.
Let's go and see that chocolate factory.
That's it. Scotman is here. Look out.
Right, I think I'll take over the history from this point, Gerald. The Great Pyramid of Khufu is over 4,000 years old, and it's the only remaining monument of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was built to hold the mummified body of the pharaoh Khufu because the ancient Egyptians believed that they would have eternal life only if their spirit could recognise their body, so their bodies were preserved through the process of mummification and then entombed in areas that would keep them safe for eternity. I'm not allowed to take video inside the Great Pyramid, so instead I'm going to sneak you in with us to see the tomb of one of his wives, which is in a smaller pyramid next to him. This is me and Jerry. Heading face down into his tomb.
Hi ho, hi ho. It's down to the basement we go.
Oh, I was thinking more Indiana Jones or Lara Croft, but I see you've gone with the 7 dwarves. This is unbelievable. We're completely alone inside a pyramid. I did not think this was going to be possible. I can't believe we're here. It's so moving. I have to admit, I'm really happy that Jerry and I can leave this place back towards the light. Excellent, our taxis are waiting. Taxi.
Yeah, I think Flamingo Taxis has now found a new transport mode. 1 camel power.
Crossing the road by camel. Look left, look right. I think we're clear to go. I think I'm just going to commute by camel in
Do you know, I think this would be a great addition for Lalande. You know, a couple of camels. This is a nice Christmas present, isn't it?
Best Christmas present ever.
This is much as a Christmas present for me, it is for you. I feel like Omar Sharif.
You look just like him actually, Jerry. It's hard to tell the difference.
Especially with my side profile.
At the top of the Pyramid of Khafre, you can still see that it was originally covered with limestone cladding, which would have dazzled white in the sunlight, but only the very top is remaining. Jerry, you should get that stone back. I think it's fallen off.
Well, where do you want me to put it?
I think if you put it, you see right up at the top there, under that top row.
Okay, that's not a problem, but it's 1:15, it's time for my dinner.
So we'll do this after lunch?
After lunch,
All
yeah,
right.
it'll take me 5 minutes. No hands. I'm getting quite gallus. Gallus means carefree, windswept.
Oh, well you are, very carefree.
Don't give a jot. Rolling, riding.
It's time to say goodbye to our camels, and I don't want to, but we're off to visit the Sphinx. This 4,500-year-old temple would have been the entrance to the pyramid complex of Khafre, and inside it, the mummy would have been purified before being buried.
You know, how could they have managed to get all these up here, get them in place? I reckon this would have taken a good 2 or 3 weeks.
Come on, Gerald. We're going to go and see the Sphinx. The Sphinx was already 1,000 years old in 1400 BC when Prince Tutmosis rested against it whilst he was hunting gazelles in the desert. He had a dream in which the spirit of the Sphinx told him that he would become pharaoh of all Egypt if he restored the statue. At that time, only the head of the Sphinx was visible over the sand of the desert, and Tutmosis cleared it all away, revealed the statue, restored it, and became Tutmosis IV. Which way do you think is our hotel, Gerald?
Well, let me think. Over that way is the Sahara. Over that way is the Sahara. Over that way is more of the Sahara. I think it might be that way, but don't quote me on that.
So we've come to this incredibly elegant hotel for lunch, and would you like to tell me what you're fapping with?
Well, what I've did, I've got a banana split here, and split being opposite.
This is so embarrassing. Oh no, that is absolutely repulsive, Jerry. What were you thinking? All right, I'm going to pretend I don't know you, and I'm going to look the other way. It's so embarrassing. Literally over there, 3 people are currently cleaning Jerry's camera, removing banana from it. That man, whose back we can see, he's cleaning your camera right now.
Well, I don't want to look because I'm thoroughly embarrassed by it. I'm pretending it's not happening.
He's bringing the camera,
He's
Jerry.
bringing, okay, I'm going to be quite embarrassed. I am so sorry. Thank you ever so much.
Gerald and I are just about to go into the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. I'm so excited. I'm going to see all the treasures from the tomb of Tutankhamun. Howard Carter's discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun in 1922 was one of the most sensational archaeological finds ever, and most of the 5,000 objects from the tomb are now here at the Cairo Museum. The 19-year-old king had been buried with everything he could possibly need for the afterlife, including, most interestingly to me, all of his furniture. We're looking at furniture that is nearly 3,500 years old. I can barely get my head around it. I mean, look at these legs in the shape of ducks' heads. It even reminds me of furniture that we still use today. I have a daybed quite similar to this one, and I'll ask Marie to show it to you.
Good morning, or afternoon. It's not 30 degrees and glorious weather, but it's still very pretty, Stephanie. So this is the bed with loads of colours.
Thank you, Marie. I just wanted to show you all how it's very similar gilded wood, though mine is in a much worse state of repair than the 3,500-year-old one, and has the same idea of rattan encased in wood. And it just shows how much French early 19th century furniture design was influenced by the idea of previous empires, the pharaohs and the Greeks and the Romans.
You know, there's snakes in the Nile, there's lots of tourist traps, there's awful hot weather, and it's just much better to be here, really, at Lalande. Miss you, Stephanie.
Miss you too, Marie. Now that we've seen all of the wonderful things that were found inside the tomb of Tutankhamun, we're going to get a plane and fly to Luxor and see the tomb for ourselves. Bye bye Cairo and hello Luxor. Well, we've arrived in Luxor and this is our room in the Al Mudeira Hotel. I see you're quite settled in, Gerald.
I can get quite used to this.
It's making me want some beds like this in Lalande and some painting. Look at the birds going all around the room. It's so pretty. Well, Gerald, I think I'm going to dress up for dinner tonight.
Well, that's a good idea. I think I shall too. I've got a little tartan waistcoat with a black shirt. And as you just set it off nicely, let them know Scotman has arrived.
Most of my luggage is basically a reference library I'm carrying with me. I have On the Nile in the Golden Age of Travel, crucial. Tutankhamun. Egypt, How a Lost Civilization Was Rediscovered, and of course, Death on the Nile. And all of this as well as my Kindle. So I'm clearly expecting to get quite a lot of reading done.
Jerry's just putting the last touches to his outfit, and then we're going out to explore the hotel and have dinner, and I think I'm really ready for a cocktail after a long day of travelling. This is quite a vision, Gerald.
Why?
Quite a vision. You look delightful.
You don't think the hat's too much?
Which country are you from again? I always forget.
Brazil. That's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful? Let's see if we can find something to drink. Oh, I like this lounge area. I feel as though we've gone back in time to the 30s at Asia. It's so pretty. Love it. Come join me. I'm getting quite peckish. We're having ravioli with local greens and courgette fritters with pomegranate. Off we go to breakfast. It's so early.
No, Stephanie, you quote what it says
Oh, it's
about
so early.
the early bird catching the worm.
The early one gets eaten. Remember that, Gerald. 9 o'clock in the morning, Gerald. What are you thinking?
I don't know, Stephanie, are you ready for your breakfast?
Getting there.
Great stuff.
This is a very pleasant start to the day. This heavenly night's sleep.
Oh, it was so peaceful and so quiet. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
So what are you having to eat this morning?
I'm having scrambled eggs to start the day because we have a very, very big day ahead of us of sightseeing. I'm getting so many ideas from this hotel. I love these frames with the slight pediment.
And the prints inside them come from the epic French description of Egypt, which was made by the scholars that Napoleon brought with him when he conquered Egypt in 1798 at the age of 29. Alongside his army, he brought 167 scholars who worked for 27 years to produce this multi-volume book, which included over 3,000 drawings and 837 engravings. It was such an epic achievement that the original volumes were presented in their own cupboard. This set recently sold at Christie's for over €1 million.
Stephanie, I've got a couple of bananas here. Shall I put them in my bag?
Absolutely not.
No, can I not put them in my bag?
They're staying in the car.
Why?
Gerald. You're banned from bananas.
Here we are at the Valley of the Kings to see the tomb of Tutankhamun. The New Kingdom pharaohs chose to be buried here because the mountain was already in the shape of a pyramid. Unbelievably, this is the state that Howard Carter found the tomb in, and there's the bed that we saw in the museum, upside down on top of the other furniture. Now the tomb is being cleared of everything except for Tutankhamun's mummy and his golden coffin. He's the only pharaoh still lying in his original tomb here in the Valley of the Kings.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, it does.
We're ending our day here at a place that I have been wanting to visit for years, the mortuary temple of Ramses the Great.
This is a very exciting moment for me as an English graduate. I'm standing by the fallen statue that inspired Shelley to write Ozymandias.
The name Ozymandias is a corruption of Ramses' official name, which I won't try to pronounce, but I've written here.
I met a traveller from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert.
Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that it sculptor well those passions red which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear.
My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair.
Nothing besides remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. In Shelley's time, much of this temple would still have been covered by sand, which would have stretched as far as the eye could see. And his poem is all about the hubris of power, of believing yourself to be greater than others when everything turns to dust in the end. But I think Ramses the Great might have had the last laugh. When his mummified body was sent to France in 1976 for conservation work, although it had been over 3,000 years since his death, as a former head of state, he was greeted in Paris by a military guard of honour. So maybe he wasn't that wrong when he had himself portrayed here, having his name written into the Tree of Eternal Life.
Ah, home sweet home at the end of a very, very long day of sightseeing. But it's been wonderful. Now, Marie, that's the size that the bouquets should be at Lalande. We've been underthinking it all.
And tomorrow we're off on a Nile cruise, which we'll show you in next week's vlog.